What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. And when they try to stop you, they don't succeed. I mean, this has been evident from the beginning. And here we see what has happened. And this is the case right now with crypto. They're trying to stop it. They're trying to, you know, make sure it doesn't advance too fast, or they try to push it down like a beach ball underwater, but it's just gonna come up. And like in that video that I showed with Tim and Gary, uh, uh, Gary Gensler, a few episodes back, where Tim was basically telling him how these you know, people in financial institutions, they deny the technology at first. They say it's nothing, it's just a fad. Then after that, they have to face it and have to, come up with ways to quiet it down. They'll put a lot of lawsuits, try to get all their friends in it, and then they'll adopt the technology. That's what it is. And here we see telephone industry moves to ban internet phone software. This was the same thing back in the 90s. Now we see that a bunch of banks like Barclays try to block payments to Binance. Santander blocks payments to Binance for UK account holders. We see that. Now, Binance, it seems like they may have some regulatory issues too. But the thing is, there's this move to stop, crypto from uh, being owned by everyone, and we clearly see that movement. But technology is going to innovate, and you can't stop the innovation. Here, I want you to hear this because this is an interesting clip, and then we'll discuss it after.
Into U.S. sanctions, because if the U.S. is sanctioning you, you can't move money using that SWIFT system. So what's really interesting is, number one, they're creating a payment system that would go around SWIFT. But how do you do that when you have 5 major countries that all have their own currencies? And one of the ways they're doing that is by using possibly cryptocurrency to do that. That would translate their currencies into a single cryptocurrency that is then used through the system and then formulated, I guess, when it gets into their country, back into their own personal currency. So essentially, you're taking currency from one, sending it through as a cryptocurrency, and then back on the other end into transforming it into another currency. And that allows them, again, to get around this SWIFT system in a way that no one had really thought about in the past, because crypto already has all of those things in place. Into U.S.
And there you have it. And which digital asset we've been talking about that has this use case that can be used as a bridge currency? Think about it. None other than XRP. They solve that issue. They're the neutral bridge asset that can allow for these nations to still have their own currency, but their fiscal and monetary policies do not affect other neighboring nations. And so if they want to be irresponsible with how they use their currency, those spillover shocks will not affect other nations, as happens now with the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency. And Brad Garlinghouse himself has said that they want to be the world reserve currency. Okay, we've seen it in a clip. He stated it himself. So go figure. Now, I'm not, BRICS nations, it's not like they're going to create their own thing. I do believe this is a global effort to get all the nations on the same page, to have this happen in unison. So, but this is just a way to accelerate things to happen. Moving on here, and how do you accelerate things to happen? Well, I literally just talked about the Cyber Polygon event that happened with Klaus Schwab, and I can't make this stuff up, guys. I literally can't. Here, Darren Moore posted this. And literally, District Council declares Germany's first ever cyber catastrophe. It says, we are almost completely paralyzed, as a spokesperson from Anhalt-Bitterfeld municipality in eastern Germany. Literally, you can't make this stuff up. It's unbelievable. And this is going to pick up and pace the narrative. It's going to pick up. And that's why things are getting interesting. And we see that Wells Fargo just shuttered all personal lines of credit. Now, that's telling you what's coming. And I wouldn't be surprised. This is speculation. But one day, if there's a major cyber attack, you may not even be able to access your bank accounts. The economy is faltering, and people are are starting to take notice. But these are the early signs, and the fact that you're here and you're early and you're watching this on this channel, you're getting prepared for those events that are going to come. And that's why you're ahead of the curve. Okay? Now this is crazy. I mean, like I said, you can't make this up. Literally. County Germany declares a disaster after its computer systems were hacked and paralyzed. BSI, the Federal Cybersecurity Watchdog, confirms this is the country's first ever cyber catastrophe. We'll see many of those in the times ahead. Now, if you ever had any doubt about what you own, literally Ripple is expanding. They have 84 new job postings. Okay, and your only job here, like XRP You Amaze Me says, is hodl. That's all you have to do. And look at all this. Do you think they're stopping despite this SEC lawsuit? No. Look at all this. They're literally expanding and expanding and expanding. And that means all you have to do is just keep buying dollar cost averaging and holding. Okay? Now, it's not financial advice, but I always talk about having a short-term profit bag. Always want to take profits, but each person has their own financial plan, and you follow it because you know what works best for you. Now, this is Chris Larsen in 2013, and hear what he has to say. This is a really good clip.
I know you've said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication. Do you think this is really going to take off to that extent?
You know, we do. When we look at the world, you see a world completely connected on an information web. And that's terrific. That makes things tremendously efficient. But what we don't have is the sense of a value web. Payments, the exchange of value is still pre-internet based on 40-year-old technology. And so that's very expensive. That really slows e-commerce. Lots of parts of the world don't have the ability to make payments. So this new technology that really is a second gen of Bitcoin enables now value to be exchanged in the same way that information is currently exchanged. And that's a big deal, we think.
But do you think, Chris, that people are actually going to be comfortable using a kind of virtual currency? I should ask you, too, how is what you've produced on the coin side, on the digital currency side, different from what Bitcoin's already doing?
So what Bitcoin set out to do is really build a new currency that had no central bank. So in a way, Bitcoin is sort of a way of storing value. Ripple is a completely different idea. We're using the same breakthrough technology, but we're using it to build a currency-agnostic value exchange or value web. So you actually don't need to adopt a new virtual currency to use Ripple. You can use it with dollars, euro, yuan, real, anything you like. We have a math-based currency built into Ripple that is like Bitcoin, but it really functions as an enabler. So we think most people will use Ripple using their existing things of value, like dollars or euro or yen.
So to what extent, Chris, are you seeing pushback? I know one of the companies that you...
And there you have it. And I think that's kind of sums up what's been happening. And what's going to happen is it's going to be used as a bridge asset. And it's always meant to be that way. I mean, if you look at, DAI and the videos he posts about the PayPal mafia, I think they've known all along. And it's amazing, these connections that you see. Now, if, there's a lot of FUD out there about crypto is risky. And shout out to Nagato for putting this. And he makes the point here that working for a 9-to-5 company is risky too, because they can replace you. Leaving your money in the bank is risky. Life is risky. We can die at any moment. But he nails it right here. Do you know what's worse than not taking any risk? Or what's worse than taking a risk? Not taking any at all. Okay, so we can't be complacent. We gotta keep pushing the boundaries, and that's the only way you can be successful. And that's what it takes. Risk. That's what it takes. Hope this episode has brought you some value. Like and subscribe. Comment below. What are your thoughts? As always, I like hearing from you. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.